Hi, for the last several days, we've been in Genesis chapter 22 and looking at the point that God made when he had Abraham offer Isaac as a burnt offering. And Abraham went to do exactly what God had said, even though he knew that God had made a promise that apparently he could not keep if Isaac had died. And yet he believed, even though it had never happened in the history of the world, that God would keep his promise and that he would kill his son. You remember how that when he was ready to, God stopped his hand from being able to slaughter his son, presented something as a substitute, a ram, and in that mountain of the Lord, he said, the Lord will provide. Now, listen, beginning in verse 15. And the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, By myself I have sworn, declares the Lord, because you've done this and have not withheld your hand, your son, your only son, I will surely bless you, and I will surely multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven and as the sand that's on the seashore, and your offspring shall possess the gate of his enemies, and in your offspring shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. Can you imagine what it must have been like for Abraham? Can you imagine the heaviness in your heart if you were told by God to kill your son? And now your son has been, in a figurative way, brought back to life because as far as you were concerned, you were going to kill him. What does Isaac think when his daddy was getting ready to kill him? And yet he knows that he had a command from God. So what would you do? I saw a movie once where it showed the two of them hugging and dancing and celebrating. I think that's what I would have done too. So they went back to the place where he lived, and he lived in peace. There's celebration and blessing that comes every time we choose to obey. Whether or not it makes full sense to us, it makes sense to God. Trust him. He knows more than we do. Thanks for watching.